Most Uber drivers are still guessing which tipping trick works. This is the grand finale of my tipping series, and this one's different.
It's not just my playbook anymore, it's ours.
I'm taking your comments, confirming the truth and exposing the myth, and showing you exactly how to cash out on big tips starting right now.
RidexServe.
Don't worry, I practiced reading out loud, and my 5th grade teacher would be very proud because I was 5 years old when I came to America, and that is when I learned how... No, I didn't learn how to read. That's when I learned how to speak English. I learned to read about a year later. Okay, so we're gonna jump into the first set of comments. These came from this video. How to get more tips. 15 hacks for max earnings 2025, episode 12, part 1. 3 great light travelers. Comment number 1. People don't buy products and services, they buy feelings. They don't tip for a ride. They tip based on how you made them feel. It's like you were trained by some of my earlier mentors. I dig it, brother. My friend, you said it perfectly. It's all about making the customer feel good. If you're feeling good, your energy is good, your vibration is good, and you're happy, you're going to attract the same kind of customers. And here's a little trick. I didn't leave it in the comment, but this is what I do. 2 minutes before where I'm about to drop off the passenger, in my mind, I'll just start thanking them. I'll say, thank you for the tip. Thank you for a generous tip. Oh my God, you're too kind. You want to give me $10? And I'll just, with my mind, just start thanking them. And it works sometimes, not all the time. I can't manifest 100%, but it works some of the time. At Armando FBLS, comment number 2. The one demographic that has never tipped are the ones who ask for a ride for a package. You pick up a lawyer's files or some golf clubs and take them to a certain place. Court pickups for lawyer clients. No tips. The verdict is in. My friends, guilty of being cheap. Lawyers are guilty, or liars are guilty of being cheap. At ARM 1976 PS4, comment number 3. Hi omelet, LOL. Tipping in Portugal is rare. When it happens, it's usually just 50 cents, $1, or $2. The best tip I ever got was a 50 bill on a black ride in a Tesla Model 3. Now, he's from Portugal. I don't know what the currency is there, so I just said dollars, but you guys understand. Tipping, actually, my friend, is an American sport. Everywhere else in the world is rare, like Mr. Bigfoot. Now, I like what you wrote in the comment, or somebody from a foreign country wrote this. So, folks, if you're driving in a different country, listen to this. You go on a website and you look at when flights are coming in. And when you look for when American flights are coming in. Let's say somebody's coming in from New York, JFK Airport, or someone's flying in from LAX, United Airlines. That is the time you want to go to the airport when those flights are landing, because the chances of you getting a tip in a foreign country go way up. If a flight is coming from Lufthansa, which is Germany, don't go. Europeans don't tip, right? At JDAZ5462, comment number 4. I just found your channel a few days ago. I've only been doing Uber for 9 months. You have more helpful information than any of those larger channels that I have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. The only thing that you should focus more on is adjusting your strategies for other markets. The Phoenix market is very different than Los Angeles. You work in one of those highest paying markets in the US, and your costs are much higher too. Fuel, car insurance, registration, and so on. Keep up the great work. You've already helped me. I use some of your strategies Saturday night and increase my pay while driving fewer miles and less time. Thank you. You are welcome, my friend, and this is exactly the reason why I started this YouTube channel. try to help drivers make more money and quit driving. You're absolutely right about the big market. Los Angeles, Chicago, Boston, San Francisco, San Diego. These are some of the bigger markets, so some of my strategies will not work in smaller markets, but I've taken notes, and the next series that I'm going to be working on is going to focus a little bit more on the smaller markets, because I used to live in Julian, San Diego, up in the mountains, and the closest place for me to make money is I would minimum have to drive around 30 or 40 miles. Now that's a small market, but eventually I would end up in a bigger market, right? So I will definitely make videos for the smaller markets because a lot of you asked this question. At LYNDONREMIS1335, comment number 5. Started watching your videos, and after watching this one and implementing your tips, I got my first $20 in-app tip, and I also got a $10 cash tip. Love your content. That is fantastic. That is awesome. You just made my day. There's 4 videos that I created with over 2 hours of content on how you can tip. No other YouTube channel has done that. This is because whenever somebody wants to learn to make more money and get more tips, I've covered everything possible. And thank you for your positive feedback. At GW7, comment number 6. LA driver here. Older Mexicans and Filipinos often tip, while white people are 50-50. Middle Eastern and black people hardly ever. Rides to the airport are like 70 to 80% likely to tip. He is absolutely right, and this is why, once again, I make these videos, because when you confirm what I'm saying, older Hispanic people absolutely tip. Most of the Filipino people that I pick up absolutely tip. Most of the tips that I get are because of airport, and that is exactly what I do. Today, I went to the airport, dropped somebody off, $8 tip. Then I picked up somebody from the airport, dropped her off, another $10 tip. So I ended up making $56 in just 2 rides, thanks to the extra money I earned in tips. At Michael Rosiano 3408, comment number 7. Where do you get all the time to analyze the time, distance, upfront fare, dollars per mile, etc.? I feel like I have to accept the rides in a millisecond, or it goes to another driver. Once again, my friend, you're absolutely right. It is very difficult. Number 1 rule, park your car. Sit somewhere when the offers come so you can make that decision, because if you're driving, you can't make that decision, and that is what Uber is hoping for. And Lyft, they want you to make the mistake so they make more money, and you mess up, right? And then it messes up your energy, and then you attract the bad clients. So number 1 rule, park your car. Number 2 rule, if you're driving a passenger, shut the app off. Accept no more new requests, right? Drop the passenger, park your car, and then look at the app. Now you're gonna make a wiser decision. There's 3 critical things that I look at when I need to make a quick decision, and it's in milliseconds. Sometimes I hit accept before I even analyze it because I'm so used to doing it. I've done over 16,000 rides. Number 1, I look at the money, right? It has to be the correct amount. So for example, if the ride is giving me $25 to $30, 99% I'm gonna take it. Number 2, I look at the city where I'm dropping the passenger off, right? Or the location, right? Or the street, right? If I'm going from one location that's hot to another location that's hot, that's it. Those 2 things are my critical things I look at. I look at the money, and then I look at the city where I'm going to drop off the person, or the street. And as long as I know I'm close to another hotspot, I'll take it. And that's how I make a decision in milliseconds. The 3rd thing that I look for is the rating of the passenger. That is important, because the higher the rating, the chances of you getting a tip are higher. The lower the rating, the chances of you getting screwed are higher. Literally, you're going to get screwed, right? One way or another way. Then the 4th and 5th thing I look at is, if I have time, I will look at how far away is it. Is it 10 minutes to pick up the person? Is it 5 miles away? I'll think about it. But if the pickup is 2 minutes away and 1 mile, I'll probably consider that over the longer pickup and the longer distance. And last, I'm going to add it, and this is the hard one. I'll take the pickup time, the pickup distance, the drop-off time, the drop-off distance, put it all together in my mind, just add it within seconds, and then make sure the direction that I'm going is not going to be rush hour traffic. If it's going to be rush hour traffic, then Uber's lying, right? So for example, if Uber's giving me $15 and it's saying it's going to take 30 minutes to do this, and I'm going into traffic, no, it might take an hour. So $15 for an hour is not good. I'll pass on that, right? I'd rather take a shorter ride and stay where I am in the hot spot that I'm at. Man, this is a long response, but hopefully you get it. If not, let me know in the comments. I can create a video where a ride pops up. I quickly do the math and talk out loud and just go over 10 rides like that. Yes, I would take it. No, I don't. And then you can take it as a test or a quiz, you know, like in high school and college. This way you can practice on it. But you got to let me know in the comments if you want me to create something like that. How to earn more tips without driving extra miles. 10 Uber tipping hacks. 2025 episode 13 part 2. This video had the most engagement with 13 comments that I picked, so time to dive right in. At John RIDENOUR 1345, comment number 1. I signed up for your course months ago. It's a plethora of information. You definitely get your money's worth. My bad, I had to put this comment in. John is giving me a shout out for my course. He's a WhatsApp member, he's a YouTube member, and he bought the course. The perfect kind of friend I like to have as a driver. He drives in Palm Springs. And basically what he's telling you here is, look, get the course, start doing private rides, and guess what? You can save yourself from modern slavery and Uber and Lyft. But hey, those are not my words. That's what Uncle John had to say. At Sheer62006, comment number 2. My tippers are Black Americans and I am in Atlanta, Georgia. I guess it depends on where you are because my tippers are mostly black and I have picked up whites. Blacks and Hispanics, I have not had a Hispanic tip, but I did have a white guy tip. Most of my tippers are black, so I disagree with you. Not all whites tip. You call them American when everyone I pick up is American. Just different backgrounds. Thank you for giving me this clarification because you're absolutely right. If you're African American and you're driving with other African Americans and that's the majority in Atlanta, of course the chances of tips are going to be different. Whereas where I'm in California, and unfortunately African Americans are like my people from Pakistan, they don't like to tip. It's all good. Later on you'll see me mention a couple of other ethnicities that you have been commenting about, right? But I do appreciate you letting me know. You're right. In certain areas where it's dominated by African Americans, there are chances Hispanics and Americans aren't going to tip, and it's good for people to know because the people that are watching my YouTube channel are not only all over America, but they're all over in all different countries, and I appreciate you correcting me. At Heather WITTEVEEN 7560, comment number 3. Pagans are another spiritual group that tip well, especially if you compliment jewelry. For example, say you like their necklace, ring, or earrings. Thank you for sharing that, and I completely agree, and I completely forgot about that. You're absolutely right, because pagans are very friendly, they are very kind, and they do tip very well. This is something new that I learned, and I appreciate you. Now let me read to you, those of you that don't know who pagans are. I grew up as a Muslim and we were told to be careful of the pagans and you don't want to be a pagan and pagans are not, they don't believe in God and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, don't learn about pagans from Muslims, right? Let me read to you what I found what pagans are in my research. When I say pagans, I'm just talking about people who follow earth-based or alternative spiritual paths, folks into nature, symbols, rituals, the kind of thing complimenting their jewelry isn't just small talk. It actually connects with something meaningful to them. And that's why it is often leads to bigger tips. Now, I didn't know that, right? The complimenting a pagan's jewelry, and it's something that's important to them, and you compliment it, it leads into a tip. Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for sharing this tip. And now you know a little bit about pagans. Reservations, especially to the airport. I always try to show up 5 to 10 minutes early if I have the availability. I message the customer to let them know that I'm there early, and most always we start the ride early. Thank you, Mr. John or Uncle John. This is the second comment you left on my video. I appreciate you. And again, I learned this from you, and I recently started doing that. I get a lot of reservations, and as I'm on my way, I actually let them know I'm on my way. When I get there, I tell them I'm there, right? It's the fact that we communicate this, it takes the guessing game out of some of the passengers. And is it turning into tips? Yes, I've noticed that in reservations, I already get good tips. Now the fact that I've started communicating this, when the customer comes in the car, we have a good conversation, I give them my business card, and it turns into a profitable ride. I would say more than 50% of my reservations tip. And this is simple math, right? If they're getting a reservation, they're already paying extra money. Their time is important. They're being responsible. So if they got the money and they're willing to pay Uber, the chances of you getting a tip are going to be higher. So learn this tip from Uncle John. Start communicating. I'm on my way. When you get there, text them that you're there early, and the chances are they'll text you back. And sometimes, more than 50% of the time, you'll actually start the ride early and you'll go on, and you don't have to sit there and wait 15 minutes. I'll tell you a short story. I showed up to a reservation once, and I just parked, a minute away, and the lady texted me and she's like, "Hey, I'm ready to go. If you're ready to go, I see you're already here and you parked a couple blocks down, but I don't mind starting this 15 minutes early," right? She had to get to, I think she was going to a university to get her master's degree, and she wanted to get there on time. So John is correct, and now you know, because he told me and I told you. At Dr. Frank M, comment number 5. I try to make my riders have fun. I make them laugh and they tip me. Uncle Frank is one of the best supporters I've had from my YouTube community and my WhatsApp group. And he didn't need to buy the course because he taught me about private rides. He taught me exactly how he does it, right? And he's been one of the longest members. So thank you, Dr. Frank. And, we talk on WhatsApp, and I got to give you a call. It's been a while. But you're absolutely right. And I would like to add to what you said. Guys, you're not going to pick up the same passenger twice. So memorize 3 jokes and practice on your customers, right? And then learn some conversation starters or icebreakers, right? Just 3. Memorize 3 jokes, memorize 3 icebreakers, and practice them. And it can learn into tips. And one of the things Uncle Frank does, or Dr. Frank, is he has a karaoke, and he'll just start and grab the mic. Are you guys in the mood for karaoke? He'll grab it, he'll sing the first song, then he'll pass it on. They have a great time. These become private rides for him, and they tip well. $20, $30, $40, $50, right? You can thank Uncle Frank in the comments. At SHG171, comment number 6. Japanese, Indians, Canadians, Chinese, blacks, Australians, and Koreans don't tip. Yes, this is the comment I was talking about. This made me laugh. Add Indians in there. Add Pakistanis in there, right? And add the whole eastern part of the world, right? The eastern side and the European side, right? Yes, folks, these are confirmations from you that these particular ethnicities don't tip, but it's all good, right? Although you learn that if you're in Atlanta and there's a lot of African Americans, the chances of getting a tip are high. So go figure. At GW7, comment number 7. I picked up a person from the LGBTQ community today in West Hollywood. Dropped her off at the storage place in Glendale. She had just moved to a new place where I picked her up and needed to grab stuff from the storage. I told her, "Hey, it's Tuesday and it's slow. If you need a ride back and help moving stuff, just give me cash." Loaded stuff in the car for her. Quick 20-minute ride. I didn't give her a rate. I just assumed about 40 bucks would be fine. She would tip well anyways because it's a comfort ride. Dropped off the stuff and she transferred $200 to me. It's about the attitude and actually wanting to help, as you say, without expecting anything. My experience is older Hispanics and Filipinos tip well. Black, Indian, and Middle Eastern rarely tip, in that order. I like how you explain too that people shouldn't be so sensitive. It's not racist, it's just observations. Thank you for clarifying that. I actually like what you said about LGBT, and I used to leave the Q part out. So LGBTQ, they're the nicest, they're the kindest. I get more tips from gay people than I do from my own people from India and Pakistan, right? So thank you for letting us know, and especially emphasizing the fact, do your job, be nice, let them know to take care of you in cash, and God provides, God takes care of you. And a lot of times where you expect 40 or 50 bucks, it turns into $100, $150, $200. So thank you for letting me know that. Because of your comment and the long comment, I read it, and hopefully, even if it helps one other driver out there, it was worth it. Let me add to that real fast, because I recently took one of my private clients home from the airport to her home at around 11 o'clock at night. I dropped her off by midnight. Number one thing her husband said is, look, Ahmed, you've been taking us. Today I can't make it on the trip. You're taking my wife. I trust you because you're a safe driver and I appreciate you. So number one point here is the wife didn't want to take a random Uber driver because she said she doesn't feel safe, especially late at night. So having a private driver helps with this situation. First link in the description for the course. Number two, when I dropped her off, we had such a good conversation. I forgot to ask for the money. She forgot to give me the money because she wanted to go home. She's been tired. She's been traveling all day. So on my drive home, I just sent her a text message. I said, hey, ma'am, I forgot to take the money. But you know what? I'll text you in the morning. Just give me the information how you want to take the payment. Normally, they give me a $20, sometimes a $30 tip. But this particular time, because I forgot to take the money, the next day she gave me a $40 tip, right? So once again, I didn't say, oh, you forgot to pay me. What kind of passenger are you? What's going on? You need to pay me right now. No, I said, hey, let me know in the morning. We'll take the payment. So instead of $100, I ended up making $140. $10 extra. Actually, $40 extra, right? You know how long it takes us to make $40 on Uber? Sometimes 2-3 hours. So, long comment, long reply, but you're learning from us. At Perry Jones II. Comment number 8. So far, since I've moved from Los Angeles area to the Virginia Beach area, I'm not getting many tips. It's terrible out here. On the flip side, I don't have many Lyft and Uber drivers stealing my rides, and the rates are much higher per ride here as I'm really needed. So from time to time, I get a little greedy and cancel some rides, turn off the app and turn it back on in the same area. I cancel and it's more, way more. There's another tip I just gave you, and thanks for all of your tips, sir. Thank you, because I forgot about this. I actually haven't really taught this trick, guys. Number one thing that he's saying over here is, yeah, fine, he's getting less tips, but he's making more money. But the more important thing I want you to pay attention to is what he said. He turns the app off. He turns his phone off. He resets the whole phone so Uber's memory and cache is cleared out, right? And he cancels. When he cancels and he cancels, it opens him up for other opportunities. Don't be afraid to cancel. Save your cancels so when you know it's the right place at the right time, you can make more money by using those cancels, right? And another thing I do is I go in the Uber driver app and I force it to stop. I go into the storage and clear the cache, right? Then I go into my phone, in my device settings, I clear the cache. And of course, I'm talking about the Android phone. I don't know how to do this on the Apple, right? But all of this helps because what happens is it clears the memory. The AI forgets everything. It feels like you just turn the app back on and then boom, the rides start coming and the tips start coming. So thank you for this comment because it got me all fired up. At ANIBAL12R, comment number 9. LMFAO, this is true. Hispanics never tip. It's always Americans that have tipped me the best. My experience is younger Hispanics don't tip, older Hispanics do. And I keep saying it, Hispanics, Filipinos, Americans, right? Guys, memorize this. These are the people that tip us the best. And if you get those rides, take it. And this is so many. I haven't even put all the comments in that I got, but if you go, actually, let me give you a bonus tip right here. This is not in the script, but anytime you watch my video, go and read the comments, because one, I learned something from the comments, and two, I respond to everybody, right? So not only is it important to watch the video, but if you go out there and you read the comments, you will learn. Pronto? Comprende. At Coach Cliffardo, comment number 10. I just received my highest tip of $70 on a $100 ride. For a 1.5 hour ride, thanks for all the great tips and wisdom. That's another WhatsApp group member. That's another YouTube member. That's another person that bought the course. There's 3 of them that commented on this particular video, and they're supporting me. That's how we do it. We drivers helping drivers, folks. And did you know that Clifford is actually making more money than me? He's got more private clients than me. I'm the one who taught him, and right now he's got 60 or 70 private clients, right? And I think he makes like $500-600 a week just from his private clients. And I don't. I make $300 a week, maybe $400 if I get lucky, right? Listen to what he's saying. He got $100 tip, right? The course costs $100, right? And now he's making, from what I understand, $500 to $600 a week in private. Do the math. That's almost $2,000 a month he's making on, on good months, because private clients are not always that busy. Course costs $100, and he's made already $2,000 in 1 month. First link in the description. At Amjad Parvez-D1H, comment number 11. My experience, please don't take it as a discrimination card. Riders with black hair and brown skin will not tip you. Mystery is solved. LOL. You know why? Because you're talking about my people. You're talking about people from India, from Punjab, and you're talking about people from Pakistan. And thank you. And this is why I was able to pronounce your name, Amjad Parvez. Us, we know each other. Hey, thanks for letting everybody know that we're cheap, because we are, right? Except for if you do private clients. If you do private rides, then I've noticed 80% of the Indians and the Pakistani people I pick up, they tip, because you're going to see them again and you educate them, and they eventually end up tipping you. And I've already mentioned this in my other videos. One lady was from India, and she was giving me $70 for a ride to LAX. This is new, when I didn't know how to drive. And the second or third time, I said, you know what, it's going to be $100. I have to wait too long. So I built the tip into my pricing for her. So instead of 70, now I get 100, and that's $30 extra for me. At GRACIELA Moya-R1K, comment number 12. Is renting a car better than using your car? I have a 2025 Nissan Rogue, and I don't want to put many miles. What should I do? You know what? This is a fantastic question, because my opinion on this has changed. Let's do the math together real quick. You rent a car with Uber, roughly, let's say $400 for easy math. It could be $350, it could be $450, right? $400 a week is $1,600 a month. But you don't have to worry about the insurance. You don't have to worry about the maintenance. You don't have to worry about any of all the other things that we deal with. Now, let me give you an example. With Uber and Lyft, let's say it's costing you $1,600 a month. My Toyota Highlander that I bought brand new, 2021, has almost 400,000 miles. My payment for the car is $800 a month. My insurance is $300 a month. That's $1,100 right there. My oil change and other maintenance that I do, let's say, is another $100. That's $1,200 a minimum that goes. We're not talking about tires. We're not talking about broken windshield. We're not talking about my radiator went out, right, recently. Transmission's giving me issues. The engine's leaking, right? There's so much shit going on. So if I'm paying around $1,200 to $1,300 a month, but it's my own car, but it's worth nothing after 3 years, right? It's gone. It's worth nothing. Now you rent and you do everything through Uber, and it's costing you, let's say, $1,500-$1,600 a month. The difference is $200. Rent the goddamn car. And that's what I'm thinking about. I'm literally thinking that I should just go rent a car, let Uber and Lyft deal with all the headache. And if it only costs me $200, but I don't have to worry about all the maintenance and all the stress and all the insurance, might not be a bad idea, right? So I'm thinking about it. I haven't made a video on it, but you asked this question. I'll do more research. Maybe if enough people ask me about this in the comments, I'll create another video. I'll talk to other drivers. Now, I'll quickly tell you, there's 2 drivers in the WhatsApp community. One of them is a genius, right? The other one's a genius too, but he's just, he just sometimes doesn't act like one. One of them in San Diego, Uncle David, ended up, instead of renting through Lyft, where he was losing money, because Lyft was taking a percentage of his pay from each ride, so he was barely making $200-$250 a day. He ended up changing it. He went and rented a Prius from outside of Uber, outside of Lyft, so they don't take the cut. I think it costs him $350 a week, $700, so that's around $1,400 a month. But now, if you look at my recent post in the community, he made $720 in 2 days, right? So he's making the money because Lyft is not taking the money from him. And he loves it. He loves not having to deal with the headache and, having his own car. Unfortunately, he got into an accident where he lost access to his car. Now, the other guy, I think, rents like a Ford, whatever the EV version is. I mess it up. He loves it. He loves driving a nice car, and he doesn't mind paying the money. So there are a couple of people in the WhatsApp community that actually rent through Uber. Initially, I used to tell them, no, guys, it's not worth it. But now, you can correct me in the comments. I could be wrong, but I think it is okay to rent through Uber and Lyft. So to answer your comment, long story short, don't put the miles on your personal car. Either go buy a used Prius and then drive it till it dies, or rent through Uber and Lyft and try it out. I think it's okay. That's just my humble opinion. At SHEREET Thomas 7730, comment number 13. I got a $500 tip last year at Christmas time. Well, I am a little jealous because I've never gotten a $500 tip. I think that's fantastic. And I think you are probably the highest comment that I read that got the most amount of money in Christmas time. Amen. Hallelujah. Now, for me, I'll tell you a story how I manifested a $100 tip. So once again, it helps the other people that are watching this video. One time I was driving in Palm Springs. I was tired. I just needed $100 to end the day. So I just started praying to God. I said, hey, God, you know what? It would be really cool if you just gave me $100 and I can stop driving and I can go in my trailer and relax and rest because I'm tired. I've been working for the last 15 hours. It's a little bit slow. Palm Springs, it's not very fruitful for abundance and Uber and Lyft rides during the summertime. I swear to you. The next person I pick up, 3 people get in the car. It was a short $10 ride. I dropped them off. It was going to take me closer to the airport. So I was like, it's a right math. Instead of doing dead miles, I make 10 miles, but $10 and I end up close to the airport. The dude gets in the car. Before they get out, he said, hey, you know what? We're going to order another Uber. We don't really want to wait for another person. You're cool. It's a big spacious car. We just got to pop in for 10 minutes. We'll be right back out. Is it cool if I give you $100 and you just wait for me for 10 minutes? And we're only going 5 miles down, so it's not going to be too far out of the way. And my jaw dropped. My eyes got big. I was like, $100, 10-minute wait, and 5 miles. I was like, yeah, absolutely, sir. I would love to do that. So within 1 hour of me making that prayer, the next passenger came in. I made $100 and God manifested that for me. I don't remember if I went home or not. I might have gotten greedy and done a couple more rides. But my point is this. We do get tips, and I believe God, universe, angels always balances it out. Always be grateful, and that's the point of this. And now we're wrapping up the second tips video in the 13 comments. Part 2 gave us some big wins and some heated debates because my answer on a couple of these got a little bit long. In part 3 of the video that I'm going to go over next, or whatever, I get confused. Part 3A. We're going to talk about some specifics that people are going to ask me. We're going to get into more details on how many tips I get and how many rides I do. So let's get started. How to get more tips driving Uber. 5 more tricks and hacks 2025, episode 14, part 3A. 6 comments, 2 turned into deep conversations at Jose Rivera-008H hour. Comment number 1. Can someone make $100,000 in a year after taxes and expenses driving for Uber full-time, 365 days, 12 to 13 hours per day? My friend, it is possible, because there's a guy in Boston that, if I remember correctly, was making over $200,000. So you assume even half of that money went to expenses and maintenance. The other half went in his pocket. So absolutely it is possible. It's like winning the lotto, right? It is possible, but very rare. Now I'll give you my example. I don't do this anymore, but the first few years that I was driving Uber, I was consistently able to make over 100,000, 110,000, 120,000 driving Uber. But after expenses, I was making around 75 to 80,000. Now, my hours, I was doing 365 days, because I've been doing that almost for the last 3 years. And I was driving, obviously, 7 days a week. But I was putting in 12 to 15 hours a day. I would just go home, sleep and drive, right? So it is very rare. Like I gave you the example earlier, like Bigfoot, right? It is rare, but it is possible. And if you do it and you figure it out, let me know in the comments. I would love to interview you for my podcast. At Alan GUREWITZ 6163, comment number 2. I have driven a taxi cab for 35 years and have recently started driving Uber also. I can tell you that the similarity between taxi and Uber when it comes to tipping is almost identical. I agree with everything that you have said in your video and found it very interesting. But I would also like to add that in a taxi or an Uber, when they say that they appreciate you, you are correct. That it usually means, thanks for the ride, now get the heck out of the way, or get the heck out of here. But a lot of times what it means is that they really do appreciate you, but don't think they're going to tip you, because they just don't believe in giving tips. I appreciate what you do, but not enough so that I would pay you any more money than what I have to. Wild but true. I appreciate you. I didn't mean to say it like that. Dude, if I could give you a tip, I would, right? So thank you for confirming that it's the same in the taxi industry, which is in the Uber industry. Now, let me tell you guys a funny story. Uber took the taxi industry out, right? You know that, right? They're hurting, right? Now we're taking Uber out with private rides and personal rides, right? So what they did to the taxi industry, we're doing that. First link in the description. Check out my course. At least go to the website and check it out, right? At Organic Stuff 1, comment number 3. I tip more if the driver doesn't speak. Thank you for saying that. I actually keep the radio off, and when a customer or a client or a rider gets in my car, the first thing I do is I say hello, I greet them, how you doing, how was your flight? I just have a routine that I do all the time. If I feel that they don't want to talk or they don't have a conversation, after trying 2 or 3 times, I get quiet, I put my podcast on and I learn something new, or I watch my own videos to learn from the mistakes that I'm making, right? Or I listen to an audiobook, right? I appreciate you saying this, just because a lot of people don't understand that, right? And at sometimes you feel like you have to talk, you have to keep. No, you don't, right? I would say for me personally right now, more than 70% of the passengers don't talk, but they do give me a tip plenty of times, right? So sometimes you don't have to talk and try to sell yourself and try to get a tip. Sometimes they drain you from the conversation and talking, and then you got to pick up the next passenger. If you don't take a break, it's like very draining energy wise, right? So I agree with what he's saying. Sometimes it's better not to talk and just be quiet and do your thing, and the chances of you getting a tip go up. At ARTFG, comment number 5A. Hi, Ahmed. Thanks again for awesome tipping series and putting yourself out there building rideXserve. Really inspiring stuff. I am based in Atlanta and I know markets and tips vary, but I'd like to hear more about your own experience. Back when you were driving full-time, like those 12-hour days, about how many rides were you doing per day? In your view, how many passengers tip out of a typical set of 10 or 20 rides? Nowadays, what's your sense of the average or median tip per ride? Is it usually in the $2 or $5 range, $10 range, or higher? Any ideas on the biggest single tip you've ever received? No pressure on exact numbers. I know every shift and market differs, but just curious about your ballpark experience. I really appreciate your humor, real world stories, and even the course offering. Keep it up. Uncle Fuber is doing it right. Long comment, and I will try my best to answer this one piece at a time. Back in the days when I first started driving Uber, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So there were days where I was doing 20 rides. Then there were days I was doing 25 rides to meet some crazy bonus, right? Then I remember the most I did was actually 30 rides in one day. 30 rides in one day to hit a bonus. Do I recommend that? No. Nowadays, I am driving around 5, maybe max 7 or 8 passengers a day. So a lot has changed, right? So that's the first thing I wanted to let you know. Another thing you asked is what percentage of the people tip, right? Back in the days, the first 5 years of me driving Uber, I would get 40 to 50% tips in the Uber driver app. I'm not telling you. If you do a good job with customer service, the money showed up. Once they went public, that all changed, right? Because now they have shareholders and investors and they have a quota that they need to meet. In that situation, in the last 2 years, my tips have dropped from 40% to 30%. And now I think I'm making maybe 20, more likely 15% in the Uber driver app. But on the private ride side, I'm making 80%, right? So whatever Uber did with us getting less tips, all we did is we turned it into a business. Now we do private rides and now I get 80% and I cut the middleman out, meaning all of the fare comes to me. So they can steal our money, they can steal our tips, but you know what? We adapt as drivers. Now, to answer your question about the amount of tips, look, if you do a $3 ride, you're going to get a $1 tip. This is why I don't do those, right? So typically the lowest I go is around $10. And on a $10 ride, I might get a $2 tip because the amount is low. The tip is going to be low, right? But most of my rides are around $25 to $30. And when they tip, the tip is generally between $5 to $10, right? So on a $35 ride, I might make $45, right? Of course, if I do a ride in Uber that pays me $100 and I drove a great distance and I was like 2-3 hours in traffic, the chances of me getting a $40 or $50 tip is higher, right? So the higher the amount you make on a ride, the higher your tip is going to be, right? So my minimum is $10, but once in a while I'll do a $8 ride just because, you know, like today I did an $8 Uber Eats order. It was just half a mile to pick it up, half a mile to come back. It took me 8-9 minutes and I made $8. So in that situation, the math lined up. Whenever you can make a $1 per minute, it's worth it because the math is correct. That's making $60 an hour, right? Hopefully I answered your question. And you know what? The next comment is from you too. So let's get that one started. At ArtFG, comment number 6A. Hey Ahmed, quick follow up if you don't mind. Number 1, was there anything you stopped doing that you think actually helped increase your tips? Sometimes doing less makes a bigger difference than trying harder. Number 2, also, when it comes to conversations with passengers, do you have a go-to topic or style that tends to lead to better tips or just better vibes overall? I know every ride is different, but I'm curious if you usually stick with the same stuff, like where are you from, or what do you do, or if you ever do deeper or try to connect on a different level. I've been experimenting with that a bit myself and wondering what tends to work best for you. Thanks again for all the value you're sharing. I'm taking notes. I basically stopped being entitled and I just started serving, and I left it up to God. I honestly don't expect a tip from every passenger anymore. I just do my job. I do my customer service. I drive, and if the money comes, I love it because I get to stop driving earlier. And if it doesn't, then it's a check on me, and it's a check on my heart and my present moment and unconditional love. And can I still do it even if the tips don't come in? So my point here is very simple. Just do a good job with customer service and God will balance it out and the money will come. So conversation with every single passenger is different. Of course, I do the typical stuff. How you doing? How's your day going? How was your flight? Where are you from? But if, for example, I see somebody's wearing, a Green Bay Packers jersey, right? So then I'll change it up and I'll say, oh, go Packers, right? Or if I see somebody with a Cowboys shirt on, I'll be like, how about them Cowboys, right? Because I'm a Cowboys fan, right? If I see him with the Eagles jersey, right? I'll be like, oh man, you're the enemy, right? But like, I have to be careful, right? Because you want to offend somebody, right? If they got a big old Trump shirt on, right? Of course, I'm gonna be like, yo, Trump is the greatest president in the world. I can't believe, Biden won that year. But you know what? Let's make America great again, right? So you kind of see what the ethnicity of the person is. You see, what shirt or what symbol is, what words are on their shirt. It's like psychology, right? So do the typical stuff, but once in a while, mix it up, try different things, right? And earlier I said this, memorize a couple of jokes. I've got a couple of jokes that I use all the time, right? I'll tell you one. I've already said it once in one of my previous videos, but you know what? My channel's grown so much. What do you call a Pakistani guy with no arms and legs? I got to give you a second to think. Trustworthy. Get it? No arms and legs. They're not going to steal you. They're not going to rob you. Anyways, so I've got a couple of jokes like this memorized. I just rinse and repeat, right? But it has to be appropriate, right? The timing has to be appropriate. Okay, the specifics are covered. This video is done. Now on to part 3B. 5 ways to get more tips driving Uber in 2025. Episode 15, part 3B. 3 comments, and they're all heavy hitters. Heavy! At John Williams 2134, comment number 1. Uber paid me extra money when I told them they took over 2/3 of the rider's pay. How many times has this happened and I didn't even say anything? My friend, I still don't say anything. I hate calling Uber. I hate calling the customer support. I hate dealing with those people from India and God knows what country the telemarketers are from. And my point is simple. Look, you are absolutely right. I think if we can call and they're taking 2/3 of the money and we can get that money back, it's totally worth it, right? But I just hate dealing with Uber because I've realized that even though they give you the money, then they take it in the next pay, and they take it from you in the next tip, and they take it from you from the next ride. So pay attention to that. Even though they gave you the money in this, for example, in this call, what happens to your money for the rest of the week? They take their money back, bro. But the tip that you gave is phenomenal. I didn't even think of that. And now, anybody that's watching this video, try it and let me know. You guys probably have the patience to call Uber support, and if you call them and Uber took 2/3 of the money, or Lyft, and were you able to get that money back, let me know. Because you know what, this is how this works. Somebody gives me some lesson, I learned, I make a video, I tell you, you confirm it, and then we educate the other drivers and we educate the other passengers, right? That's how you beat Uber and Lyft, right? In order to beat a corporation, we need to work together as a team and help each other out. At Jim Gates 7293, comment number 2A. Would you recommend that a driver gets a separate car exclusively for Uber and Lyft, or use your own vehicle? Look, I kind of went over this already in more detail earlier, but I put your comment in because this is something people are starting to ask me over and over, right? I think you want to save your own vehicle, because when I first started driving Uber, I was driving a Honda Civic Hybrid and it died like in less than 3 months, right? It already had high mileage, right? It was not the right car to start driving Uber with. Just because it had high mileage, it was going to die anyways, right? So whatever car you have is normally not the car that you got in order to drive Uber, right? So my recommendation to you is try to save your car and rent a car or buy a car just for Uber. That's my recommendation. There's 2 guys that drive in San Diego. Yes, San Diego is a right market. It's top 3 market in America. But dude, both of these guys drive in a Prius and they average over $300 a day, right? Right market, right car, right timing, and having the knowledge and being a part of a community and driving, you're going to be able to make that money even with a Prius. They make more money in a Prius than I do in my Highlander because I don't want to put the miles on it anymore. Oh, and I'd like to add one more thing. Never buy a brand new car. Twice I bought a brand new car. My first new car was a Toyota CHR, whatever, it's something like that. And I thought it looked kind of cool and just bought it. Well, I should have bought a Toyota Prius, but I didn't, right? And that cost me, right? I actually leased that car, right? I leased that car. I put so many miles on it. This is why I'm paying $800 a month for this Highlander, because the extra on the mileage, instead of this car being $600 a month, is $800. I'm paying $200 extra per month because I made that mistake. I just had to add in there. I like making fun of myself, you know what? Because I want you to learn from my mistakes and not do the same thing that I did, because someone's got to help you out. Uber's not going to help you. At John ETHIN, comment number 3A. Hey, love the videos. Thank you for all your wisdom. The airport queue jump is a subject that caught my ear. I was at Burbank and it happened. I was uncertain that the request came through, but I went ahead and I took the ride. Came back to the queue and it did exactly what you said. Although I never got a big fish back towards home, it was good to maximize the earnings at the airport through this glitch. Cheers. My friend, I'm so glad you left this comment, because now this is all I do. I was at the airport today. I took that, I already explained it to you earlier. I took that $8 Uber Eats order. I came back and it was showing in the app like 40 drivers ahead of me, 20 drivers ahead of me, 5 drivers are like, oh man, the glitch didn't work. I swear to you. All of a sudden, within a minute, it popped 6 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 6 out of 10. So the whole time I took to do the Uber Eats order and I came back, there's some sort of glitch where it jumped me all the way to the beginning and I actually recorded it. Most likely, I've already shown you this particular part of the video as I'm talking this, right? Damn, that feels good, right? So I don't know how long this bug is going to be there, right? When I initially made the video and I talked about it, this is the first time it happened. Now this is all I do. If I'm at the airport, whether it's LAX, John Wayne Airport, Ontario Airport, Palm Springs Airport, it doesn't matter. I will take that little ride to make $10, $12, then they give me a tip and get back in, and I've tested it almost up to 20 minutes. I'm able to get back in and jump the queue. And I think you can just keep doing it over and over and over until the traffic dies and there's too many drivers. So thank you. And this is why I keep the best tips till the end, because the last 3 comments that I just responded to, those are, you know, specific ones that I saved till the end of the video. So it benefits the drivers that help me by watching the video all the way to the end, because, you know, YouTube helps me with ads if people have a long view duration on a video. That's actually the easiest way you guys can help me, right? Whether you buy the course or not, that's on you. I personally think, you know, you learn to do private rides, you're actually going to end up making more money. But if you can't justify spending $100 to make $1,000, that's on you. But if you like the video, you comment on the video, you watch the video to the end, that doesn't cost you any money, and that really helps me out and actually motivates me to make more videos and not give up on this YouTube channel. Because if you notice, I've been making a lot less videos last few months because I've been pushing my TikTok and I've been pushing You Are Born Spiritual, my other YouTube channel, which, by the way, almost has 11,000 followers on TikTok, and money's coming in. I made 72 cents on TikTok. Anyways, you know what? Time to do the summary and kind of wrap this video up. You know what? I'm not going to do the summary because this video from all the video and all the footage that I've seen is already over an hour long. I'll edit it and maybe this video will end up being 45 minutes. So you know what? I'm not doing a summary. I'm going to wrap this video up. It has so much wealth of knowledge in this. I hope you guys learned something, right? 29 comments, 29 responses, and then a couple of tangents that I went on, right? But I will tell you this much. My next video series that I'm working on is, I got it from a poll where people wanted to make more money, and then also somebody commented about, how to deal with markets that are not that busy, slower markets. So my next series of videos, at least I'm going to make 4 videos on this. It's called Jab, Jab, Hook, and it will show you exactly what I do. Like, I do a jab, which is like a $10 ride, then I do another jab, which is like an $8 or $12 ride. Then I put myself at the right place at the right time and hook. Like right now, I'm sitting here recording this video because I took a $29 ride that turned into $53 or $54, because that's the hook, right? You want to do 10 bucks here, 15 bucks here, then you want to nail that $50, $75 ride, and that's it. Right there, you've made half your money for the day. Then you do it again. Another jab, and then a big hook. So in 5 to 7 trips, you basically make your money. You want 2 big paying offers, then you want 3 or 4 little ones to get you at the right place at the right time. Now, if you want me to work on that video and you want me to make it faster, let me know in the comments. Say, yo, bro, make that video on the lower markets and jab, jab, hook, because that helps me and it motivates me. Have a blessed day, and God bless you for watching this long video. I enjoyed making this one.
It's not just my playbook anymore, it's ours.
It's not just my playbook anymore, it's ours.
Shadows stir, heartbeat sinks to circuitry. We edge closer to the unknown. Fragments of code,